Welcome to the Courtship Aftershow, a talk show on the Reader Seeks Romance channel that recaps and discusses former NBC, current USA Network dating reality show, The Courtship, inspired by the work of Jane Austen. I am Liz Donatelli, and my co-host is my good friend and reality TV superfan, Tiffany Current. Today, Tiffany and I are joined by a special guest, former suitor from the cast of The Courtship, GIUSEPPE Castronovo.
Yay! Hi, everybody.
Hi, GIUSEPPE. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Doing good. We're excited.
We're
this
super
is very exciting.
Yes. And first things first, we need to address the elephant in the room.
Yes.
And that is that you have gotten a haircut.
Yes, I did get a haircut. All of them cut, actually.
I see it. The sides there too.
Yeah.
Very nice.
You know what it was? It's just working in the restaurant business and being at the restaurant every day. It's so much to maintain and take care of. I don't know how women do it. Every morning
Sure.
would have to start with, washing it and blow drying it and putting product in it, making sure it was tidy for work. And, then when I was at work, I'd have to make sure, hair wasn't flying into food or anything.
Yeah.
And it gets hot back there in the kitchen. So one day I was just like, all right, my dream was always to have long hair. I rocked it for like 2 years. Time to chop it all. It was bittersweet.
Okay. Because
that's awesome. Yeah, because we weren't sure if you'd grown it out for the show. We're like, he just grew it out for the show. But this was like a long-term commitment with your hair.
Yeah, it started during COVID, actually. COVID hit and I got one haircut during COVID. A girlfriend of mine, she cuts hair. She was like, hey, I'll come over and cut your hair. I'm like, yeah, sure. Perfect. And then I was like, you know what? This might be a while. I'm not going to be going to any clubs or out to any restaurants. I'm just going to let it flow. And then I rocked it long for like 2 years. And then it kind of worked out for the show. It was like very Regency-esque with the flow and stuff.
It was awesome.
So yes, it worked well.
Out.
Yes, well, you had beautiful, luxurious locks, and that was, part of the conversation. I don't know if you've watched the show, but Mr. Edwards, the narrator, would comment about your hair and how beautiful your hair
all the time.
It still looks beautiful. It's just that he constantly mentioned the luxurious locks, so that was something that we would end up discussing on previous episodes of our show.
I'm glad that made it to the editing because there was a lot of one-liners he was throwing in there while we were filming about the hair. So they did a good job of getting a lot of them in.
So is that a lot of improv on his part where he's just kind of just throwing stuff out there?
I think they did such a good job with picking personalities there that, like the whole time we're filming, there's so much behind the scenes and just stuff that we were on camera that didn't make it, but that was so good. They just had so much to pick from. But yeah, pretty much the whole time, everyone's like being themselves, shooting out one-liners, and I guess they got to pick and choose what they got to air.
That's amazing. So would you say, since you said there was so much that happened that didn't air, was there something that you wish would have aired?
I can't really, it's hard to say because there was so much that went into every episode you watch is days of filming. So you're watching days of film, hours of recording in 45 minutes if you take the commercial breaks out.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I forgot what was said and done, but I think they did a good job of capturing everybody. I think there were some parts maybe, especially the first couple episodes, that they could have made it a little bit juicier, a little bit better, but I guess they wanted to slowly.
Ooh, juicier.
Yeah,
what's so juicy? You can't just say the word juicy and not, explain the details there.
Yeah.
I don't know how much detail I can get into if it didn't make it out there.
Yeah, we don't want to get
try
too
enough. We can get it.
That's okay. That's okay. Juicy stuff.
It was some good stuff, but you know what? They got the general consensus. They got the idea across. They did a good job with that.
Okay, I wanted to start kind of at the beginning. We recently interviewed Achilles King, and he had mentioned that he and some of the other suitors were recruited for the show via Instagram. Was that your experience as well? Is that how you were found for the show, or did you apply?
So I have been on TV in the past, little small things, nothing like this at all. A cousin of mine, or a distant cousin of mine, is on the Jersey Shore, Vinny Guadagnino.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
That's nuts.
we're like third or fourth. We're Italian cousins, like fake
It still
cousins.
counts. It still counts.
Oh
It's
my
still
God.
family connection.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I was on a couple episodes of that, just here and there. Whenever I'd see him out, he would invite me to like out with them. And the producers eventually, I guess, just started to get to know me. And I guess a lot of the shows share producers and stuff. And I got a call one day, and it's, hey, I worked with you on this project with Jersey Shore, Double Shot of Love. There's a show on NBC that I think you would be great for. You kind of have the chance to fall in love in a picturesque background. Like, they didn't really get into detail with it. They were just like, would you be interested? I was like, yeah, I got nothing going on right now. I could definitely be interested in that. And then they sent me the link to apply. But yeah, I was approached by a casting producer. And then I had to go through the whole application process. Okay. And even once they flew us to England, apparently we weren't even 100% chosen yet.
Whoa,
so
that's crazy. So some guys went home.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, because we were blindfolded parts, like recording and moving here and there. So like for the first like 3 weeks I was in England, I saw my welfare producers, the food runners, and that's it. And then I would occasionally peek out the window and see who they taken for a walk. Like, oh, are they,
that's crazy.
Try to scope out my competition. But yeah, one of the last interviews was with all the executive producers of NBC, and they apparently, like, my producer told me they have the option to send you home here. So like,
that's
this is like your last chance to really, solidify you staying here, and it worked.
Right. Did the blindfolds freak you out? Because I would have been like, what is this?
Like, what show is this exactly? What kind of dating show is this?
Yeah, it was like blindfolds. I'm like, all right, what is this, 50 Shades now? I didn't know that was going to be on NBC.
Right. It's a good dating show.
They told us they wanted the camera to see our initial expressions when we saw the castle, when we saw her, when we saw each other. So as you're watching the show and you're seeing stuff for the first time, it is literally the same time we're seeing it for the first time. So I actually, motion sickness wise, it wasn't great traveling, like 15 miles with blindfold on, but it was worth it when they did take it off. And I was like, oh, okay, wow, this makes sense why they wanted to keep it a secret.
So do you think you like immediately built a rapport with some of the guys, and also Mr. Edwards? How often did you actually interact with him?
So yeah, with the guys, actually after I was eliminated, I heard that the gentleman who got eliminated before me were planning a Euro trip. So
wow,
we hit it off on set, behind the scenes. We were all, amongst from a few maybe rotten apples, but we all really hit it off. We were like, if they had the cameras rolling on us behind the scenes, that would have been a hit TV show on its own.
I would have watched it.
Oh yeah,
it was so good. But yeah, we hit it off. And then when I got eliminated, I literally we did like 6 countries, me and like 10 guys. We just hopped around Europe. And to this day, we all stay in touch. I mean, I was with Christian, Dr. Jarrett, Nate, and a couple other guys in Miami. Charlie is actually coming down to stay with me for a couple of weeks.
Where in Jersey are you? I mean, not like an address or anything, but whereabouts in Jersey? I'm originally from New York.
Okay.
And we would only like pass through Jersey to get to other places, but
as everybody should, honestly.
But I'm just curious, like, how close are you to New York?
So I'm actually in the heart of the Jersey Shore right now. I'm in Point Pleasant. I'm actually at my pizzeria. You down at it's Oakwoods Point Pizza.
That's so cute.
Yeah, so I'm here. We're right in Point Pleasant, right on the main road, takes you right down to the beach. I'm like 2 miles to the shore.
Okay, cool.
And then to get to New York, I would say an hour, if that.
All right, yeah. All right.
I go to New York all the time. I'm always, especially pre-pandemic, I was in the city every weekend. I was there, as much as I could. I love it there.
Yeah, of course, it's New York.
So you said that there were some rotten apples on the show. So as a follow-up, who was the person that you probably disliked the most? Was it Captain Kim?
Oh, you're going right for it, Tiffany.
Oh.
I have to know.
While filming, it gets complicated. While filming, yeah, I got kind of annoyed with him. There was, and I don't mean this rudely now, we did kind of build a relationship after the show. I thought he was a bit of a crybaby on the show. I thought, a lot of drama, which I get, and you know what? Some people just handle things differently. I was there going with the flow. I'm a very laid back guy. I kind of like take things with, a grain of salt, and kind of like seeing him react a certain way and sometimes, and then, it annoyed me a little bit. And I was like, well, I'm like, what is he doing? Like, why is he doing that? And like, then he's like stealing time with her. And I'm like, you know what? Like this guy was already on the dance floor twice. Like I'm going over there. And, you know what? But then afterwards, actually, he wound up joining us on our trip. And we actually, we talked. We were in Amsterdam together, Croatia, Greece, London. We did a bunch. And you know what?
Trip.
He even came down. He came to the pizzeria to visit me because he's also from New Jersey.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, so we're good now.
I have to ask about Mr. and Mrs. Rémy. They adored you. They adored you. At least that's what we were shown as viewers, is how much they just loved you and how fun, and they thought you'd fit in well with their family. Now, we weren't really shown a whole lot of in-depth you chatting with them and you guys having fun. So I'm wondering, behind the scenes, what magic were you working with the Remys? Like, what were you guys doing behind the scenes?
So I'm a big parents guy. Parents always love me. I have ex-girlfriend's parents that to this day will call me and be like, happy birthday on my birthdays, or just like see how I'm doing. It's just really like, parents for some reason just gravitate towards me. But I found a lot of things in common with Mr. Rémy. Actually, one of the first things I talked to him about when we were all like the first ball, they didn't air this, but I walked up to him. I was like, hey, how are you? Introduced myself. He asked me a couple things about me. I said, I'm like, what do you do for a living, if you don't mind me asking? And he said he was into real estate. So I actually said, I'm like, have you ever read the book Think and Grow Rich, or Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Those are my two favorite books. Mm-hmm. And they got me interested in real estate too. And he stopped and he was like, did somebody tell you to say that? I said, no, say what? He goes, I promised Nicole I would pay her. I forgot how much. I would pay her to do a book, read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and do a book report on it. And I would pay her to do it. And she never did, because he goes, that is the book that got me interested in real estate. And I was like, crazy. No way. So right there, we hit it off. We're talking about real estate. We're talking about, food and stuff. Just, we really connected.
They were heartbroken whenever you left. I think they were in tears. They might have stood up. I was like, wow, they're really into. And then, and even like episodes later, they would kind of like harken back. It's like they really made a connection to Giuseppe. Like what did
we were close. Even behind the scenes, I was always chatting with them, but it was genuine. I really had a lot in common with them, and they were genuinely so cool. Like just like so cool. Like how they are in camera doesn't even do it justice.
I think you did like rowing and cricket, and you went to a carnival. Like, what was your favorite activity to do on the show?
So the cricket was a lot of fun. More stuff that didn't make it to camera. The first ball I threw, I struck out Nicole. It was It was like the worst timing ever. And I figured they were going to incorporate that, but they didn't. But it was really funny. That was probably a lot of fun. The grass was like slippery because it was like all dewy, and everyone was slipping and tripping, especially me. I got a lot of hit for that from my family and friends watching it. And the carnival was a good time. There was a lot of cool, fun carnival games and stuff that also didn't really make it to air, but it was.
We got a glimpse of them. We saw like the coconut hitting the nail on the head. But there were other ones that they showed, but we never got to see you guys doing it. So I was like, I wonder what else they did. That's cool to know.
Yeah, they had a lot for us. It was a lot of fun, a lot of content to work with.
Yeah. So, and I know this is a question that Tiffany and I have discussed. We've made note of all the brooches that the suitors wear. And I believe in one episode, you do mention that you chose the wolf. Could you elaborate on why you chose a wolf pin to represent you and your personality?
Yeah. So growing up, my grandfather would always say to me that he would rather be a wolf amongst lambs than something. I forgot,
like a sheep among men or something, like something about a sheep.
So,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there was a saying he told me when I was really young, and he would also tell me the the pretty much origin folktale of Italy. And that really stuck with me. So the folktale is that Italy was founded by Romulus and Remus, who were raised by a she-wolf, by a wolf. So La Lupa, which is wolf in Italian. And that is kind of like the wolf is a big symbol in Italy because it was kind of like the founding story of Italy.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's very
cool. That's a good reason for picking the wolf. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was really, awesome. So I saw it kind of like they let us pick, and it kind of like was calling to me, and I'm like, a wolf, my grandfather was my best friend. Oh my God, I have a couple tattoos for him here and there.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? He was the first person who introduced me to wolves. He taught me the folk story about Italy, and cool. I was like, all right, this is it.
I know that you obviously you own your own restaurant. I'm assuming you're kind of a foodie. What was the food like on the show? Was it Regency era style food? Was it regular food? And at some point, did they let you cook the food since you can cook?
So we were trying to arrange like a cook-off or something where I would be baking pizza, and because
against Mr. Mumbre,
he was gonna be. He's more of a high end. Like he cooked in like the south of France. He would whoop my butt. But pizza, I might have him. We couldn't make it happen because the castle was literally hundreds of years old, and they just couldn't do it. The food, we pretty much ate regular food. They brought in a chef for us, and they fed us pretty well. They fed us pretty well.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. So no craft services? You guys had like real like good.
So yeah, no, it was like while we were quarantining, we got like to pick from local restaurants and stuff. And then once we were on set and on location, then it was a private chef that was cooking for us. And he was really good, but it's hard to find, I feel like, really good food over in England. I don't know if you guys have ever been.
No, that's true. The food
I
there
have
is
not.
Terrible. Let's be honest. There's lots of mayonnaise.
Yeah, they literally was like
mayonnaise,
like fried beans and toast was like a breakfast option.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I mean, listen, every culture has their own stuff, but I guess why you don't really see too many English restaurants around,
That is why. Only the tea. That's all that comes over here.
So a number of the suitors had like little gifts or had planned dates. And I was wondering if you had anything in store for Miss Rémy that you were unable to execute.
So like I said before, I was trying to make get a pizza thing ready, and I wanted to do like a pizza date where I would like teach her how to open up a pizza, make a pizza and make it into a heart, and be like, here, I'm giving you a pizza, my heart. And,
that's cute.
That would have been sweet.
Corny but cute. And we never got to do it, but me and Nicole, we're still friends. We still talk from time to time, and her sister too. I tell like her on Mother's Day, told her I wish her mom a happy Mother's Day. She's one of the most genuine people. I think, even though I didn't find love on the show, I made some true friendships and relationships.
What did your Italian family think about you going to find love in this way? Like, were they, I mean, I'm Italian. And I just imagine they'd be like, what are you, crazy? Like, what are you doing? Like, especially when you tell them about the blindfolds. I mean, forget it. But I mean, did you not tell anybody? Like, did you just take off and be like, I'm going to be gone for a while. Don't contact me.
Yeah, because of the NDAs we signed, we couldn't tell many people anything. Like my parents knew, some people from work knew, but once I kind of was finished and they kind of got the idea, when you're Italian, we can't keep our mouths shut. Everyone was like kind of shocked. They were like, wait, you're going to be on a TV show trying to find love, but you're going to be dressed in Regency era clothes, doing Regency era stuff. They were just like kind of like mind blown. They couldn't wait to watch. And then after watching it, they're picking on me a lot, like Italian families do. Like, look at you in those tights and those pants, Yeah, so I'm like, oh, sorry, it's not as cool as the TV show you're on. Oh, wait, yeah.
I have to say, I thought it was smooth that I think it was the first episode you broke out the Italian with Nicole.
Yeah,
that was
they
smooth.
chopped it a little bit. It made it, and I after watching it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds like so bad. But it's because I speak it, so I probably noticed how nervous I was.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time I was like, you have hundreds of cameras on you on the other side that you can't see. And I was like, all right, I have to do something right now that's gonna make me different. Because if I just say, hey, how are you? I'm Giuseppe. Like that's what everyone's saying. So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give her a couple lines in Italian. That'll stick out. That'll give her something to remember. And if it works, then I'll live to see another day.
Yeah. Well, that was a good move.
It was a good moment. At the end of episode 3, the beginning of episode 4, they introduced 2 new suitors, Mr. Judge and Dr. Hatim. Did you know they were joining the cast? Was it a surprise when they were introduced in that moment?
Yeah, those 2 new members joining was a total surprise. Like it was like we're fighting for our lives, and now I gotta like fight 2 more guys for this. Like, I was like, oh man, and you know, it was just you think like, okay, you made it one step forward, and then it was like 2 steps back, literally.
Right. Yeah. We were frustrated for you guys. Like, we're like, no, what's this? Yeah.
And for ourselves, we're like, more guys? Like, come on.
I know, it's like you don't even know us yet. And it's like, now we gotta, introduce 2 more guys. And I would say that was probably the biggest problem I had, was getting to the point of being vulnerable and open with her. Which is hard to do when you're sharing her time with 16 other guys right off the bat, so it was tough, but I think I got to do the best I could, and it worked out the way it was supposed to for everybody.
Yeah,
it's cool. I'm going to just ask a very silly question. At one point, Captain Kim called you a broke Gaston. Would you say that's an accurate description of yourself? And if not, which Disney character would you be?
I absolutely loved that line. Actually, there were like memes of me going around with like my face on Gaston. It was funny. Maybe after the trip I just had, I might be a little broke, but no, it's a pretty good description. I'm a little bit less arrogant than Gaston, I'd like to think. It's been a while since I actually watched his character.
That's funny.
But that was good. He's good. He's quick on his feet, that Captain Kim.
He was very smart. Yeah, he had some good clips. I remember that. I'm like, oh, he's smooth. I like that.
When I heard that, I was watching it with probably 20 of my friends. Everyone was rolling on the floor. I couldn't even be mad. I'm like, okay, that was really, I didn't know he said that. Like the first time I watched it was the first time I heard it.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
It was so great.
Yeah, that was classic. That was classic.
It was.
Tiffany and I have been debating as this show goes on, what is the end game? And what were you told? What were the suitors told was the end game of the series? Is it supposed to end in a dating commitment to date, engagement? Like what did you know about that?
So they kind of didn't tell us much about that. During filming, once we had our phones taken away and stuff like that, that's when they got a little bit more into detail and whatnot. I think, it's like halfway through filming, they were kind of like, we're looking for like a fairy tale wedding. Like, that's really what we're here for. So, I mean, I think it definitely could have happened. I was open to it happening if it came to that. I mean, I know people together 7 years that, barely love each other. I know people that have met each other in 7 minutes and are madly in love. So that even might be a Jane Austen quote, actually. Somewhere
it's
in there.
It's a very romantic line.
Yeah.
There's a Jane Austen quote in there somewhere.
Did you read Jane Austen in preparation for the experience?
Didn't. I probably should have. Growing up, I have an older sister, and she would watch like the Pride and Prejudice things, and she was big into Jane Austen, so I had like a familiarity with it. But no, I did watch Bridgerton to kind of get like an idea of what I'd be dressing like. They gave that as like a base point, and I was like, funny. I don't know how I'm gonna look in those tights. I'm really not sure.
Right.
I think it worked for everyone. Just a quick thing, just for the farewell ball. I think it was episode 4 where she said, farewell, your carriage awaits. In that moment when she called your name just for the dance card, what were you feeling? Did you have any clue that it was your time to go home?
So the episode I did get eliminated on?
Yes, the episode you got eliminated on, exactly.
Yeah, I figured. So I'm not sure the way they aired it. I don't remember if I was the last one. I might have been. I think she might have sent Captain Kim up first.
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember either.
So I did know, though. I had the feeling because this is tough. I don't know what I can and can't say here. There was something happened off camera that was pretty big and dramatic, and that's when I pretty much knew. I felt like it was a toss up before, and then something happened, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely going home. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go out like how I am. I'm gonna go out like a gentleman, respectful, prideful. And so when she was sitting there, she actually started to get a little like emotional, and that's when I said, I'm like, listen, we're here for you to find love, not the other way around. I said, so we're here for you. So whatever decision you make is the right decision for you. I'm not going to stand up here and tell you you're making a big mistake sending me home like some other people have said. I'm like, only you know what's best for you. And that was really coming from my heart, because if she didn't feel that connection with me, then I don't want to stay there and waste anybody's time. I don't want, to ruin somebody else's chance of falling in love with her. Sometimes you can't force chemistry. And sometimes people are meant to be in your life as friends, not as, a significant other. So I came to terms with it quickly when I realized on that floor, I'm like, okay, this is where my fate is leading me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It was a very sweet goodbye. I remember that. I think you said some kind words to her and then some kind words to the Remys, and it was really nice.
It was
yeah, you know what? I'm not really a villain. I mean, some people might beg to differ, but I went out how it wasn't planned. It wasn't scripted. That part was just totally just me accepting it. And, I had fun. The experience was worth it in itself. I mean, how many people get to say they were on a TV show where they were given the chance to fall in love in that backdrop? Yeah. I mean, it was incredible. So
for sure.
I'm not sorry for how it happened. I wish I would have stayed longer, and I think we could have made a good connection, but it worked out the way it did.
So now, how has your life changed since exiting the show? I mean, has your dating life exploded? I mean, what's going on?
Definitely have a lot of people hitting me up now. Locally here, I'm like a celebrity in my own mind, probably.
Oh, that's cool.
I know people are constantly coming into the pizzeria. Oh my gosh, you're the kid from the show. Like, me and my family, we watched it. We heard somebody local was on it, so we're watching it. Down here, the community is very tight, and they everyone knows what everyone's doing. So for the community, it actually worked out really well. And dating wise, you'll have to see. There might be someone who has been getting serious. I've been getting serious with, and I'm not getting any younger. I'm 27 now, so.
You're a baby. No offense, you're a baby. 27 is young.
We're gonna have to watch, I guess, to see what's gonna happen next. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we stay tuned, folks.
Have you been continuing to watch the show?
So I haven't had the chance to.
Okay.
I'm a couple episodes behind, but I am going to. Actually, since the show aired, I wound up buying a house. Have renovations going on at the restaurant. It's just kind of like life happened really quick and got in the way. So it's not like, I'm off the show, I'm not watching. It's just so much happened at once that I was doing construction on my house, construction on the pizzeria. I literally landed from Hawaii at 7 a.m. this morning, drove straight to work. I haven't had a chance to do anything yet. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at this point in time, is there a suitor that you're rooting for?
Yeah, I definitely, I think Jesse is amazing. He's such a genuine guy. And Mr. Bokikio, he was my roommate actually. So
that's cool. That's fun.
Yeah. They put the two Italians in a room together.
Perfect.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough because I know they're they're neck and neck. So it's tough to pick a favorite. Everyone kind of has a special place in my heart.
Thank you so much, Giuseppe. It's been a pleasure and an honor to chat with you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we wish nothing but the best for you, professionally, personally, romantically.
Aw, thanks, guys.
Farewell.
Your carriage,
carriage awaits.
Again.